Hi, my name is Rebecca, and I'm on staff here at Prairie Lakes Church. In this portion of the training, we're going to cover the chaplain deployment process, care resources, and then we'll finally wrap up with some helpful tips and information to help you be successful as a chaplain. So let's start by defining what a chaplain at Prairie Lakes Church does. So chaplains provide care and comfort to those that are experiencing physical, emotional, or spiritual needs. We're a ministry of prayer and presence for people that are homebound, in the hospital, or experiencing some type of crisis. Chaplains also serve during weekend services for prayer, and we're excited to celebrate births, dedications, baptisms, and faith line decisions. All right, so when you hear the word deployment, what do you think of? I'm willing to bet that you probably think of the term the military uses for sending troops out. When we hear the word deployment, we know people are being sent somewhere for a specific mission. So here at Prairie Lakes Church, a chaplain deployment just means that a chaplain is being sent on behalf of Prairie Lakes Church to provide care to individuals in our communities. Your campus pastor or chaplain coordinator will deploy you for different types of situations. So things like a birth, death, illness, or hospitalization or surgery. It's important to remember that as chaplains, we are not counselors, financial resource providers, caregivers, social workers, or chauffeurs. Chaplains provide a ministry of presence and prayer. You are not expected to solve or fix people's problems. Remember, the person's heart is your target, not their situation. As chaplains, we can play a role in getting individuals connected to programs and agencies that might be helpful for them, but we'll talk more about that shortly. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into the deployment process and the details that go along with that. So as soon as Prairie Lakes Church becomes aware of a care need, we try to match a chaplain as soon as possible. So we make personalized matches based off of the individual's situation and the chaplain's comfort level with that type of situation. So we make this decision based off of the information you provided on your chaplain application. When a chaplain is matched with a need, Prairie Lakes will notify a chaplain through email, text, or phone call, and will give you the opportunity to be deployed while also providing appropriate information regarding the situation. We only offer deployments to one chaplain at a time, again, because it's a personalized match. So if you're not able to accept the deployment, that's fine. There's no pressure there. Just let us know as soon as possible so that we can work on finding another chaplain. So once you've accepted a deployment, plan to call or visit your client the same day if possible. Make sure you have all the necessary information you'll need, so things like their name, phone number, address, hospital room number, things like that. And before you make contact with your individual, pray for them and your role in the deployment. So ask the Holy Spirit to help you listen and provide empathy while also speaking at His prompting. So once you've done that, you are ready to make your contact. So using the deployment information, make the phone call or the visit. Be sure to identify yourself and your role. So for example, I'm Rebecca and I'm a chaplain for Prairie Lakes Church. Do you have a few minutes to chat? You can start conversation with a question like, how are you holding up? Be sure to keep your interaction short. And then during the conversation, assess the situation, and provide next steps as appropriate. So things like maybe exploring agencies, organizations, or even other churches that can help meet their needs. Maybe their next step is connect relationally. Maybe you could suggest that they join a small group or a Bible study. For some people, a next step might be to attend church services regularly. And then finally, another great next step would be to encourage them to serve purposefully. So you can help identify places, organizations, and ways to give back to others. All right, so as the conversation winds down, offer to pray for the person and ask if they'd like you to post a prayer request on our website. And then ask if they'd like follow-up contact. If they do, schedule a time and be sure to ask if they would prefer a visit, a phone call, or a text to check in. You can end your visit or your phone call with a word of encouragement. So something like, I'll be praying for you and I'll give you a call next Thursday evening. After you've made your call or visit, we ask that you take a minute or two to fill out the chaplain follow-up form. You'll receive the link to this form from your campus pastor or your care coordinator. So be sure to save this in an email or text to yourself or in your bookmarks or favorites. You'll add your client's first and last name, your campus, the type of interaction, why you were deployed, the date that you made the phone call or visit, and a quick 2 to 3 sentence summary. After that, you'll check whether you're going to continue following up with the person or if there's no follow-up required, your email address, and then today's date and time will auto-populate. And then after that, just make sure you hit submit. It's really important that you take the time to fill out this form because we use the information from your summary notes to create a report that we send to our campus pastors and our care coordinators. This report just exports the summary notes into one document, and it's just really helpful because we usually have a lot of people that we're caring for. We usually have a lot of different chaplain deployments going on all at one time. And this way we have all the information in one document so that our campus pastors and care coordinators aren't trying to keep all the details and information in their head. So if we do not get a form from you, it's like the deployment never happened. So if we don't get a form, a campus pastor or a care coordinator will follow up with you personally to try to get an update on what's going on with your client. After you've submitted the follow-up form, take a few minutes to pray. Thank God for the opportunity to provide His love and comfort, and then also for the request that came up during your conversation. Remember to pray as the Holy Spirit prompts you. After that, just provide ongoing care or follow-up contact as needed. In some cases it's not, but if you are asked to follow up, we just ask that you continue to do so. And remember to fill out the chaplain follow-up form after every contact. Now we're going to chat about resources that will be helpful for you on your deployments. It's important to be familiar with local agencies, programs, and organizations so you can refer and connect others as needed. Each campus has a community resource booklet. You can use this booklet to refer individuals and families to agencies and programs in the community that can best meet their need. Your campus can provide you with a copy. If you've been given permission, post a prayer request online at prairielakechurch.org/prayer. All requests are posted anonymously, and while you're there, feel free to pray for the other requests that are listed. The final resource we're going to talk about is what we call compassion funds. So compassion funds is just another term that we use for benevolence. Prairie Lakes isn't equipped to offer emergency or cash assistance. So if you get this kind of request, do your best to refer the individual to an agency or a program in your community that can help them. You can also let them know that we do have a Compassion Funds application, and they're more than welcome to fill that out. So like I mentioned, we do have an application process. So unfortunately, we're just not able to help everyone that requests assistance. So the application helps our care team decide how we can best come alongside an individual or family during a season of financial difficulty. Compassion funds are intended to serve the short-term needs of people in crisis, so they're not intended to help with things like legal fees or credit card issues. If an application is approved, sometimes we're able to provide assistance in the form of a gift card. So gift cards towards fuel, groceries, household supplies, and maybe we can apply a direct payment toward a car repair or a medical bill. To get to the Compassion Funds application, go to prairielakechurch.org and scroll to the bottom. On the right side, you'll see the Quick Links section, and Compassion Funds is listed toward the bottom. I'd really like to encourage you to take a few minutes to take a look at the form. Just become familiar with it before you use it as a resource. All right, so we've made it to our last section where we're going to cover some tips and additional information. Your campus will provide you with a chaplain shirt and a chaplain name tag. Please make sure you're wearing one of them when you're making a visit. It's a good idea to keep your name tag in your vehicle or your purse so that it's accessible at all times. It's also a good idea to keep hand sanitizer with you so you can use it before and after a visit. When deployed to a hospital or a care center, keep in mind that they're required by law to protect patient privacy. If you encounter a little bit of resistance, do your best to be patient and understanding. If possible, check in at the nurse's station first. Sometimes they can provide you with additional details, or they could even show you to the patient's room. Keep in mind that staff at hospitals and care centers are usually really busy, so do your best to stay out of the way of other medical personnel and equipment. Always knock on the door, even if it's partially open, and announce yourself. Ask the individual if they're okay with you visiting. If they say no, that's fine. Just ask if they'd like you to come back another time. Be sure to use the hand sanitizer provided before entering the room and then again on your way out. And be sure to greet anyone else in the room and include them in conversation. Aim to keep your visit to about 15 minutes. All right, so when it comes to home visits, again, be sure to use hand sanitizer before entering and then again after leaving, and wait to be invited into the home while also offering to take off your shoes. It's also a good idea to ask where you can sit before sitting down. And if you're sensitive to things like pet dander, cigarette smoke, or strong scents, don't overexpose yourself to things that might make you feel sick. Finally, don't overstay your welcome. People are typically more comfortable when they're in their own homes, so they might not expect you to leave as early, but you should still keep your visit to about 30 minutes. Feel free to revisit the information in this training as needed. Sometimes we all need refreshers, so please just use this as an ongoing resource. Make sure you're filling out the chaplain follow-up form after every contact to report any updates. This information is really helpful for campus pastors and the care team. So now that you're pretty much done with your training, deployments and weekend service rotations begin now. This looks a little different at every campus, and your campus pastor or coordinator will be able to provide you with additional details. Once a year, your campus will send an email with a link to the chaplain annual review form. The form is similar to the chaplain application and gives you the opportunity to update your comfort levels to certain situations while also asking you for your feedback from the past year. And finally, I just want to say thank you for saying yes to being a chaplain at Prairie Lakes Church and providing care for our community and the people in our church.